What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Oh, I haven't clicked this, have I? I'm such a noob. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in. Hope you're all doing well. Whoa. Let's get that right. That was the start of a 10, isn't it? And everyone can see their chat. There you go. All right. Some slight marginal technical difficulty when we start off. But anyway, hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in, spending a little bit of your evening with me. As the thumbnail and title says, we're going to be diving into what is all it about. Is Trump really going to push the crypto market? Are we going to zero? What's really going on with Jerome Powell? I mean, Jerome Powell, like, what? It's insane. I literally kind of was tying up a few bits last night, like pretty much getting sort of done for the evening. And then it was like, oh, Trump's suing Jerome Powell. You're like, what the heck is this about? So, yeah, some pretty crazy stuff in fairness. In fact, I'm not even going to say pretty crazy stuff. Like, it's freaking insane. Like, we've never seen anything like this before. Like, Trump is literally just like, I am absolutely getting you out of the Federal Reserve, and I don't care what you say. Like, I mean, it's almost not ever heard of. Like, seriously, it's kind of crazy if you ask me. So, yeah, we're going to sort of get into it. We'll discuss a little bit what it could actually mean, what are some of the things that we need to be aware of, all of that, and how it sort of broadly plays out into the market. But, yeah, I mean, who would have had that on their bingo card? Definitely not me. First big day tomorrow is when we get some solid CPI data as well. So keep your eyes peeled on that because that could end up pretty interesting. And we'll take a look at the charts as well. But yeah, it's been a wild all day today, I think it's fair to say. But welcome in, Foz. Good to see Magic Craig here. Selma in the house. Tim. Magic Craig says, whoa, it is Sunday fun day. Oh, wait, it's Monday. Sorry, I missed Sunday's episode. Got caught with stuff. I'm here. What's going on, Craig? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. JFR was first in tonight as well. Welcome to Mark Peak Silver Days. Good to see you all. Beebs in the house. And then welcome to TikTok as well. Shout out to everybody tuning in on TikTok as well. Good to see you. Welcome in as always. Casey's here to keep it fresh, keep it real. Thank you, man. I appreciate it as always. Dr. Crypto in the house. Welcome in. Venmo, what's going on? I'm having a bad day. Oh, no. Hope everything's okay, brother. But yeah, let's dive into this market. Let's try and understand what's going on. And more importantly, what is going on in the charts. And then we'll get into this kind of stuff with DJT, and I guess what does it mean? What's all the latest with the Federal Reserve? Like, what's the most famous picture in the planet? Jerome Powell being schooled on the cost of renovating the Federal Reserve. So we'll get into that. And I guess the big question on everyone's mind is it likely that something's going to happen, or is it just noise, right? Is it just, Trump flexing a bit of muscle, all that kind of stuff? So we'll try and get into it. Okay, so where we sit right now in Bitcoin, 91,377. Hold on, TikTok. Let me bring you guys over here as well. There you go. And let me just do that. So you can, I think, see the charts. Yeah. All right, perfect. And I think everything's set out as it should be. So this is on the 30 minutes. We've had a pretty interesting day today. So here was the open, by the way, which was interesting because we sort of dumped into the open. It was a bit like, oh, all right, here we go. And we were sort of trending down here. And I was like, all right, this is not the week I expected to get. And then we got that big rally up. Asian markets came in and bought big. We'll take a look at the pre-markets. We'll try and get a view as to maybe what's coming tomorrow. Like I said, we pretty much, well, I wouldn't say we called it, but we certainly, from the data we had, suggested that we could get some upside momentum. And we got a nice little move up here, look, all the way back, breaking $92,500, which is pretty interesting. Back right into this range here, right into this orange box that has now been on here forever. And it's either a resistance point, it's equally a point where we break and we show resistance. So if we come in a little bit nearer here, you can sort of get a feel for what's kind of playing out here. But look at this, Bitcoin rallying pretty much bang on into the middle of it, 92,500, which we said, we're not in this place of until we break out of this upside 92,631. It's not really anything. And you could see pretty much what we've got, which was then just a dump back down the other side. So we got this kind of momentum up, a little bit of volume coming in, RSI trending with the MACD trending as well. So you can see the MACD's here, look, and the RSI is the lines on top of it. So you can see here, like, really nice momentum up on the MACD and the RSI here on the 30-minute. And then, obviously, we just got massively rug pulled when the UK and the EU markets opened up. No real reason, I think. I don't necessarily believe I saw, anything to kind of give us a view as to why this. But, this is essentially here all the way to the European openings, right? So that was kind of pre-market in the EU. We traded the day, nothing really going on. And then, yeah, US markets bought in. They bought pretty aggressively, in fairness. Now, not necessarily down to anything specific. I didn't really see any big wallets buying. There wasn't really a demand, I don't believe, from institutions. It was probably more of the whole, like, probably more of the whole kind of Trump and Jerome Powell situation, which, like I said, we're going to get into what it is and I guess how it will affect all of us. So I'm just looking at Arkham Intelligence. For some reason, BlackRock. I don't know, are they maybe it's all gone. Yeah, it looks like they're having a meltdown over there. Let's leave them to it. Let's go here. Oops, wrong button. Let's go here, actually. So yeah, in all of that, it's kind of a pretty interesting day. The US markets, for the first time in a long time, bought, which they haven't really done for ages. Now, there's probably two reasons why we saw that. Sailor buying an enormous amount of Bitcoin today, which is, again, pretty wild. Think about it, over $1 billion Sailor dropped into this market. So, yeah. What do I think about Cadena? I thought they'd close that down. I thought it was done. I'm sure it was done, right? Shane, thank you so much for the heart me's. I'm sure Cadena's finished, bro. I don't know if you want to check that, but I feel like it's definitely finished. And then we kind of, back up again. This interesting support line here, back into the big orange zone, and then, yeah, we've been kind of dumping. Once again, though, look where we are. The 20-day exponential moving average here on the 30-day. If you were looking to trade anything here on these markets, the 20-day exponential moving average right now is your friend, okay? It's definitely showing a very, very strong level of support on a number of different areas, whether it's the 30-minute, whether it's the hour, whether it's the 4-hour, whether it's the daily. I mean, the daily is even more interesting, that we actually wick down just marginally beneath and then starting to push back to the upside. Now, what's important here on the daily candles, if you remember, we were talking about this last night, that we want to see a continuation move back to the upside. Why? Because it should or could show a reversal on the trend, which again is important. Now, don't forget, we've got some pretty big catalysts in the market that could push this market one way or the other. Definitely the Federal Reserve was not on my list of things, though, and we'll touch on that in a minute. But big one starts tomorrow, CPI data. Lots of people now have flipped on it, expecting good CPI data. Now, if you remember, we spoke about this when everyone was going, oh, it's going to be crap. We kind of said, well, do you know what? I'd be mindful, like, energy costs coming down, the whole, like, sanctioned oil stuff. People might still feel a little bit more optimistic about where it's going to go. And actually now, forecast and consensus are not aligned. The assumption, by the way, forecast is actually lower than expectation here on CPI. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. 2.6 is the number you're looking for. Benchmark, anything below that. If we got some sort of insane 2.4, then yeah. Although I think we get a rally in the market, I think it would dump relatively quickly. I think you'd just be having extreme volatility in this market because at the minute you can't trust the pumps. That's the problem. But yeah, but equally at the same time here on the daily, this is a nice little reversal coming in with some good volume. You see the 2 weekend days here with some good volume. So this is going to be worth very much keeping an eye on it, in my opinion. RSI and MACD both trending again with us on this particular move. So, we broke the channel, which is good. We've held the 20-day exponential moving average. We need to see a little bit of volume pick up consistently through this. Probably good CPI, may get us back to this kind of 92,000 range at the bottom of this orange box that we've now had here for the longest time. And once we get back to this, we can start probably being a world of saying, well, look, if we get the breakout, this could be good news if, do you know what I mean? If we get the breakout. What's important as well to note, by the way, is we are actually forming a very, very similar pattern here. So you can see this kind of pattern. So we could get, again, this kind of pattern here that we've been talking about with that break to the upside, really, really obvious pattern. The same could be starting to form here right now, which would be super interesting. Now, it would be way tighter. You'd be talking something like that. If you were thinking kind of how this was going to play out, perhaps, you're talking a way tighter range on here, way, way tighter range. So you sort of get into this place where you say, well, maybe we get one further retest to the upside, takes us back to the orange box. What does this look like across? Well, we can come down, retest this upper range, 90,000. Maybe we get a bad CPA report. Maybe the jobs data that comes in isn't particularly great. Maybe PPI is off the boil, albeit everything's telling us it's probably going to be okay. And then we potentially get that kind of reversal rally here that actually we then see this, come back, retest this range here, and then potentially break out. What I think is going to be important here, and you're looking here, if we go to the 12-hour chart, you can sort of see where this, this Monday pump is. and equally this kind of couple of key levels. But the same sort of pattern is playing out, look. So although we sort of, although the body of the candle doesn't close that way, actually you could argue this becomes the support, doesn't it? And then actually we come here. So then this comes down again. Maybe we get, maybe CPI doesn't come in as we expect. Maybe it comes in a little bit boring, followed by then that, that kind of pushback and then that retest break to the upside. So lots of very interesting charts playing out right now. Lots of very interesting patterns, again, that are playing out. I think if you looked at it on even a higher time frame, look at the 3-day, for example, starting to look very, very obvious as a potential break from this bull flag here. There's the pole, there's the flag. We're looking for that breakout. It's even more aggressive here on the weekly candles or the 3-day candles as well. So very interesting if you ask me. BTC feels like it is on the cusp of a potential breakout. Now, just giving you an idea of where some liquidity pockets are. Not a lot. We could rally easily to 91,370 quite comfortably here on the futures market. Not a lot stopping us. And again, you can see some of the volatility. When you flip it to the spot markets, slower, more deliberate, long-term pushes. Think of what we were talking about yesterday. A break above 91,500 may signal a rally up to 92 quite quickly. So worth thinking about. Hey all, what's going on? If the clarity passes soon, crypto is going to be a roller coaster with all going on the world stage. Going to be burning lots of calories with the stress. No gym needed. Yeah, Vincent, tell us about it. Hope you're doing well, buddy. So, yeah, so that's kind of where we sort of sit. Altcoin market, it's pretty flat, all right? We probably don't need to go through too much of it. You can see Ethereum holding or struggling is probably a fair assumption. Back down on the 3.82 Fibonacci, almost to the, to the absolute letter here that we put on the charts last night. You can see there, we're currently down about 0.86. Couple of coins that are running, aerodromes having a reasonable room, but look, while ever it's under the 20-day, don't care. All right, that's my view. My indicator right now is if you are above the 20, I'm cool. If you're not, then I absolutely couldn't give a monkeys about you. But you can see aerodrome on the daily is actually starting to tick back up. Weekly, still very much macro downtrend. Again, worth noting, but we'll take a 3% move here on Aero. Not a lot else going on. Will there be Financial, who's just had another big partnership? I'm not saying that that's a Trump-arena thing, but it's good. I think we're sort of in a world play. UPS says, I think the tariff situation is the same idea. They have it wrong. SC will uphold. Do you think? I mean, do you not think it's weird that they delayed the announcement? I mean, it's pretty crazy if you think about it. Damien, thank you so much for the heart me's, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate it, guys. And yeah, thank you so much, obviously, for being heroic. So, yeah, so this is kind of what we're playing out in the chat. Everything else is pretty boring, other than if you are in any kind of privacy coin. Monero is dominating markets, absolutely going to the moon, in fairness, which is kind of wild. As people probably rotate out of some of these coins. I mean, even Zcash at 407 feels the more risky bet. If I'm honest, Zcash does feel like the more risky play, with Monero like absolutely skyrocketing right now, making it happen. So, yeah, pretty interesting. White Whale, if anyone's interested, by the way, has consistently dumped since I bought a bag. So if you were ever in a world of thinking, boy, 2-bit is absolutely the reason things pump or dump, then you're right, because White Whale has dumped ever since I bought some, all right? So it's down at $120 million market cap. So I'm literally loving the fact that that's happening. That I saw it 100 million and was like, oh, this thing's not going any higher. Oh, it does another 100 million. I think, okay, this is probably going to go to $1 billion. I chuck in a little bit, 165. No, dumps ever since. Do you know what I mean? We're in a simulation, everybody. We're in a simulation. It's not fun. Okay. So, yeah, Canton Network, a little bit of a retrace. Don't be surprised, by the way, if you don't get another move on Canton Network. And I'm watching this pretty keenly, because if it does move, then you better believe that I'm going to take an opportunity to get into this as well. I think with all the partnerships they've got going on, and equally at the same time, the sentiment that sits with Canton Network, then it may be worth keeping very much a good eye on. By the way, if you're on trading markets, don't forget Bitunix, link in the description. You've got some great sign-up bonuses, all of that good stuff. Check it out. Again, no KYC available. It's where I've been doing a lot of my trading, so do check them out. It's highly worth it for sure. Okay, so with that all being said, that's kind of a rundown of the charts. We don't want to get too much into it. We'll take a look at the end of the show. I've put a cup. I'm sorry, TikTok. I've put a cup in the way, which is causing untold amounts of, problems trying to get in here. Check Solana, dude. I will check it out. Let me just move you guys back to there. There you go. Look, perfect. Perfect. So Solana, yeah, up at marginal amount. Still, we still want to see this break above around 146. In my opinion, that's where I want to see Solana go. We've got a little bit of a wake up today. Nothing wild to about 144. So close. But no cigar. We want to go a little bit higher. The 146, probably 145 to 146 is probably somewhere where we're about. But yeah, still holding up pretty well on Solana here. So, fingers crossed we get a bit of a move on that one. As always, Selma, what's going on? Basilio, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Good to see you. Joy, welcome. Kapishak ICP. Yeah, ICP I actually have on this. Now, I'm not a fan of ICP. I was when it was pumping. I'm not so much now. $3.12, very much holding, or I'd say clinging to the 20-day exponential moving average like its life depends on it. The problem is it has actually wicked below that now, and it looks like the candle body close will be under the 20-day exponential moving average. So just my humble opinion, but I would say I think ICP drops to $3. That's my opinion. I think ICP goes down a little bit further yet. Which again, a lot of that kind of narrative. Asta continues to dump. Glad I got out of that one when I did. That continues to come down. Memes not having a great time as well. Other than Pump, which again we discussed the other day. Pump actually having a reasonably good run here. Lots of good in the commodities, by the way, as you would expect. The Q's up as well. But look at gold and silver continually dominating here. 6.5 on silver, 7.5 on the futures market, 2.2 there on gold as well. So pretty bullish. And then lots of the treasury yields and stock market. Now, I don't know if you caught my video, by the way, but Coinbase just got upgraded to a buy by who was it? Like somewhat Fitzgerald or something, I think it is. Is it like Canton Fitzgerald or something? Can't remember. Anyway, they've upgraded their stock, which is interesting as well. But yeah, Coinbase strategy obviously dumps, but it will do. You buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, I would imagine your price is going to go up. Do you know what I mean? So you kind of almost can't take that in too much context. Okay, that gives you a bit of a summary where the market is. Let's get into this then. Let's get into the Trump and Jay Powell stuff and what is actually going on. So if you haven't already seen the video, which I'm sure many of you will have done, especially if you're in crypto, you will have definitely looked at, kind of what's going on. But yeah, Trump going after Jay Powell. Now, it's a bit of an interesting way that they're doing it, okay? So it's a grand jury inquiry, which is slightly different, okay? It's slightly different. Now, I'm not going to profess to be a legal expert because I'm not. But we can sort of get into what it all means. And I guess, get into a place where it may align what we're looking for. So here you go. Look, this gives you a bit of an idea as to exactly what it is. So grand jury indictment is a formal written accusation by a group of citizens, a grand jury, that there's enough evidence, probable cause to proceed with criminal charges. So this is kind of where it all comes in with Trump and with Jay Powell. Trump's basically saying, right, we think you are fiddling the books when it comes to the renovations, okay? He's kind of saying, I think there's something there. Now, what they've then done is just put this big umbrella out. It's a bit like, catching fish, isn't it? You just put this giant net out and hope that you generally catch cod. You might catch this, you might catch that, whatever. But you're like, right, just yeet the net into the water and let's see what's out there. And that's essentially what they've done here. So there are reasonable grounds to believe a crime was committed and this person did it, which is why this is super interesting, because they are specifically going after Powell. Now, that doesn't mean they can't be collateral. It doesn't mean that they can't go after some other people as well. But, it's pretty interesting as well. It is an official start of a felony prosecution in the US federal system, but it's not a conviction and only finding that a trial is wanted. So there's two, in my opinion, possible outcomes of where this goes. And I want to get your views and reactions on this, right? So two possible outcomes in my head. One is they go and find something Powell's not either disclosed, that he's said and retracted, that he's spent it on something else, like whatever that money is. I think the number I'd seen was 1.6 billion was the expectational cost of redeveloping the Federal Reserve buildings. And the last time I saw it, it was 2.5 billion, right? So essentially what Trump's going is like, hey, you've literally spanked nearly $1 billion over your budget it'll cost. And you sat in front of the House committee and said, oh, everything's fine, everything's under control. Like you blasted $1 billion. It's $1 billion that you shouldn't have spent, that you have spent, okay? So the key aspects of it would be that to formally charge someone with a crime. So in the Powell case, it would be probably fraud, especially if they find something that's kind of going to be pretty wild out there. The prosecutor presents evidence and witness to a secret grand jury, about 16 to 23 people. Proceedings are secret and accused of their lawyers aren't present. Outcome, a true bill, meaning indictment, and no bill means no indictment. So It's critical official step that starts the criminal case leading to formal arrangement and further legal proceedings. So here's the kind of kicker, or certainly where I think Trump's going with this, right? He's kind of like, right, we need to get Jerome Powell out. Why do we need to get Jerome Powell out? Because he's not going to cut interest rates, all right? He's not going to do it. There's no demand to do it. There is almost like no desire whatsoever to cut these interest rates. So they're kind of a bit like, okay, screw it. How do we then get him out? Like, we need to get him out. Like, you know, the best you can hope for right now is an interest rate cut in June. Like, that's the best you could hope for. Well, you know, what does that give Trump? July's meeting and September's meeting, and then you're into midterms in November, right? So midterms come in November. It gives him 2 potential moments to try and do something with the economy. Let me just check. Midterm elections are 2026. Midterm elections are, yeah, November the 3rd, 2026. So if you're Trump right now, you're kind of going, okay, I need to get interest rates down. I've been banging on about Powell for the last like 12 months. I've even been in a world where I've been positioning this, which is why, and I'll link it back to the crypto market in just a minute. But you think of the last 12 months, Jerome Powell should be out. In fact, I bet we can find some of these tweets and quotes, by the way, from the Trump administration. But he's been like aligning this and then now drops the hammer. He's committing fraud. We need to investigate the Federal Reserve. All while at the same time, it's like, man, Powell's just kind of, you know, like get out of there, basically. Like, what the heck? Which is kind of wild. So let's, if I do Trump on Powell, I mean, it's going to show a lot of it'll show a lot of the stuff that's happening recently. But you know, yeah, President Trump, back in November 19th, 2025, President Trump said that Federal Powell had some real mental problems and that he would love to fire his ass. I mean, come on. Like, I mean, he's been pretty honest. Back in June 19th, 2025, too late, Jerome Powell is costing our country hundreds of billions of dollars. He's truly one of the dumbest and most destructive people in the government, and the Fed board is complicit. Europe has had 10 cuts. We've had none. We should be 2.5 points lower. That gets your interest rates to nearly 1%, by the way, and save billions on all Biden's short-term debt. We have low inflation. Too late. An American disgrace. And it doesn't stop there, by the way. He continually talks about the fact that he should be yeeted out. He talks about the fact that Jerome Powell, he'll be gone if I ask him to leave. So loads of this has been like built. He's just been like playing the game to get rid of Jerome Powell. And like we said, the fact that he's now going to fulfill, that he focus on the Fed began months ago, renovation of the Central Bank Washington, D.C. headquarters, when Powell took Trump on the tour of the site. Do you remember he pulled the like spending bill out, Paul controlled by the banks? Well, I mean, I don't know. Let's put a vote out there. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? And don't vote with your heart. Do you think the Trump Powell thing is good for markets? We'll call it that. We'll just call it markets. You know, commodities, equities, whatever, right? Let's just call it that. But yeah, Powell has until now refrained from full-throated pushback. He's built up an immense capital over the past 4 decades amongst Republicans and Democrats, having been nominated first by Democratic President Barack Obama, the Trump, then Joe Biden, and Fed jobs. Just as importantly, Supreme Court rulings have ensued that the central bank for the White House worst excess, while Powell's strong spearhead pandemic emergency leading programs, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so this is going to be pretty tasty, I think. It's going to get pretty tasty. But what does it? What could it mean? I mean, that's the bigger question, isn't it? And you know, where do we expect this to go? It could take years, all right? So as much as people are probably jumping on this bandwagon of like, lock him up, get him out, it just doesn't feel like that's going to happen anytime soon. It doesn't feel like it's going to happen anytime, you know, quickly. And it probably is just about getting him out. You know, they'll just want him to step aside. Now, he did say in his wording on the video that they recorded, which again was pretty wild, that he's going to keep doing his job. He's not going to do anything. He's literally just going to stick it out and sort of move on. It does, you know, bring into question the Federal Reserve's independence, which is not a good thing if it's going to be politically influenced. But at the same time, it's who is going to go in there. I mean, it was just breaking news, by the way, it just came in. I don't know if you guys seen it, that he has interviewed the guy from BlackRock. I can't remember his name now. Anyone know? Who's the guy from BlackRock that Trump was going to interview? Can't remember. But anyway, so he's interviewed him for this role as well, which is pretty interesting. As that one plays through, but I can't find it now. I cannot find it. Anyway, I can't find it, but he's just is it that Republican Senator Tom Hills? Oh no, that's that. He's going to block the Trump administration. Okay, fine. I can't remember what it is, but anyway. So, what does it next look like? I guess that's the question. No, it wasn't Larry Fink. It's like some of the. It's like someone else. I can't think who it is though. Anyway, he's interviewed him for something for the position of Fed chair. But I can't find it. I literally looked at it before I went live. Anyway. So this is an interesting article as well, which sort of gives us a bit of a look into what this agenda could all be about, which, by the way, is pretty fun. So you can get here, look. 3 peculiarities about Jerome Powell's statement. Powell is the one who decided to disclose the existence of the grand jury subpoena, not the government. I mean, that was always going to be the case, wasn't it? Tyber, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Zach, Silver up again. Keep stacking. Yes, Silver looks crazy, by the way. Looks crazy. Rick Reed. Is it Rick Reed? Yeah, the BlackRock. Is he the BlackRock guy? If that is his name, then yeah. Contrary to Powell's statement, service of a subpoena on the Fed is not a threat to indict him. Subpoenas are investigation tools. And finally, nowhere in the statement does Powell say his testimony to Congress about the Fed construction project was truthful and accurate. I mean, I think that's probably just a given at this moment in time. But yeah, is there more to this than meets the eye? That's going to be the big question, isn't it? Is Jerome Powell like, oh, it's all falling off? The wheels on my wagon have now turned square. But yeah, with just months left of the chair, the Supreme Court and Congress for now, but rising central bank independence, Powell has chosen to right the moment to make a stand. So again, think about this. You know, Powell's out in like 3 months. What's silver up to? Like $85, I think it was. We were looking at it earlier on. Let's have a look. Silver is at 84.65. Yeah, pretty wild. Pretty wild, man. There's some big buys coming in on this white whale thing. Holy crap. Send it to a Billy, sorry. Looking to Powell's being dumped, yeah. Maybe. F Trump. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Silver up 5% to 85. Oh, exactly, yeah. Absolutely crushing it right now. Absolutely crushing it. You can get up-to-date live information as well as trade setups, AI views, and everything else, all in our Discord. Link is in the description, and it is free to join, by the way. For a little bit more access, maybe that's some trade setups or a little bit more access to me, you can grab a channel membership. It's about $6 a month. Head to the bottom of the screen, click join. And then you sign up. It's just a monthly thing. I guess in the Discord, that gets you just access to loads of other stuff as well. It's part of the channel. You don't have to. And again, our Discord is totally free if you want to just get in there as well. So highly recommend it. It's definitely worthwhile. Okay. So with the grand jury stuff and the Trump debate out, what else have we got that Trump's trying to push? Well, this is another big one. President Trump, it would be a complete mess and almost impossible for our country to pay if the Supreme Court rules against the United States of America on the national security bonanza. We are screwed. All to do with the tariffs, all right? And the fact that, you know, Supreme Court was like, oh, we're just going to roll it back a week. Like, you know, we're just going to chill out. It's not really for us to say, is kind of interesting. And he's doubling down on it. I mean, I don't know if you saw the tweets. He was like, you should all be getting $2,000. The Supreme Court are making it so you don't. Like all sorts of crazy stuff. The actual numbers that we'd have to pay back for any reason for the Supreme Court were to rule against the United States of America on tariffs would be hundreds of billions of dollars. It's about, we worked it out, didn't we? I can't remember what it was. Like 270, was it 270 billion? Maybe it was. I can't remember. Countries and companies would require for the investments they are making into building plants, factories, and equipment for the purpose of being able to avoid the payment of tariffs. When these investments are ready, we're talking about trillions of dollars. It would be a complete mess and almost impossible for our country to pay. I mean, it would absolutely screw the debt. I mean, let's face it. It would go up. I cut my hair while listening. What's going on, Joyce? I love that. I love that. But yeah, so this is kind of everything always comes back to tariffs. And you know what happens when it comes back to tariffs? Boom on the markets. So yeah, it's like you can literally, it's like clockwork. Like clockwork. Here you go. Look, go to the hourly chart. Everyone thinks I'm crazy, bro. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. So that tweet about the tariffs put out 8 p.m. What happened at 8 p.m.? Market is dumped. All right. After a nice little uptrend, we were on the way, retesting just under 92,000. And it's like, oh, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. 8 what? 812. Boosh. Enjoy that dumperino in the market. Anyway, it's always about tariffs. Always. Ripple Reverend says, blockchain backer just started. We're going to go down. And it'll be our last week down. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, the question I have is why? And so many people give predictions, by the way. So many people go, yeah, market's going to be crap this week. Okay, why? Why is the market going to be bad this week? It's easy to say it's 50-50, isn't it? Oh, I think the market's going to go down. I think the market's going to go up. It's a 50-50 bet. Why? Always ask somebody why. Why do they think the market's going to go down? By the way, I'm not hating on you, by the way, but I just think it's super interesting. Okay, why do you believe in the statement you've made? And most times people don't have an idea. So yeah, historical patterns. Okay, fair enough. Then, maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's the answer. I'm not sure. My view is way more simple and a little bit more in terms of fundamentals right now is kind of where I'm at. I think we'll see a very volatile week. I think depending on what happens on Thursday depends on whether I think we get a breakout or not. That's my view. At the minute, all of the suggestions here are that we are consolidating within a range and not really doing much. That's where I'm at right now. So at the minute, am I seeing any reason technically to get a market dump? No. No, at the minute. And I believe that the market's dumped because of a change in sentiment. Trump indicts Jerome Powell, somebody slaps some tariffs on or all that kind of crazy stuff. But market structure-wise, we kind of look all right. I feel like we're never going to get to all-time highs. That's why they want you to think. They want you to think that. I'm a gold prospector, so happy to see it going up. Even finding a gram at this time is exciting. Nice. I like it. Yeah, Alvin did a little bit of where he was. Damn, missed most of the show again. Why is it I'm home all day on my own, and then the moment the show starts, the phone doesn't stop ringing? Well, too popular, Craig. That's the problem. Too popular. Okay. Let us continue on and see where the tariff and argument goes. Hopefully, we don't get any more tariffs. We don't want to see more tariffs, Mr. Trump. Keep it cool, all right? Chill out. Now, allegedly, he's meeting with Xi Jinping again. I think he's meeting with the Colombian president. Allegedly, Iran has kind of spoke or certainly requested some sort of deal with the US. I don't know too much about it all, but didn't get too much into the kind of political war field at the minute. I thought we'd leave that alone. I listened to blockchain for 3 years. He said it's getting ready to go nearly every day. However, he has allegedly been very accurate in the past. Fair play. Fair play. Like I said, if you consistently say it's going to go up, eventually you will be right. Remember, a broken clock's right twice a day. Now, I'm not in a place where I can sit here and tell you what's going to happen. I just think when people have unwielding conviction, you just want to know what that conviction is based on, isn't it? So historical patterns, volume trade outs, breakouts from certain lines, Fibonacci retracement levels. Like, what is it? What is it that's saying to you from a historical pattern that it's due a breakout? Because for every time someone says, well, it's due a breakout, historically it's selling, it's going to break out, there'll be someone saying, yeah, but historically it looks like it's going to go down. So, interesting. Interesting. Okay, what else? Well, look at this. History may just be about to repeat itself. So Bitcoin continues to flow in its fractal pattern after each halving cycle in 24 and 25. Many claim this time would be different, that the fractal wouldn't repeat yet. Once again, it's unfolding exactly as before. So we are the red line right now. So that's kind of where we currently sit, where we could see some consolidation down, and then oops, we go. The point of reference here, by the way, is that the market's way less volatile. So if we did say the top was October, and this is kind of as good as we got, then we may not then see the bear market or the dip as big as potentially it's going to be. But I'm still in a world where I think we've got upside moves. And I think if Trump's got anything to do with it, he will absolutely pump this market like you wouldn't believe. Think about it. Let's play some scenarios out here. Let's just freestyle some scenarios. 58% of you guys, by the way, believe that that the Trump-Powell thing is a good thing for markets. So keep your votes coming into that poll. Tariffs open on USA is if it lets other countries pay down our debt instead of Americans. That's true. That's true. Opinions on Zebek Network. I mean, I don't own any. I sold it all. But yeah, I kind of like it. I feel a little bit like maybe it's sort of in that bit where it needs to just grind out and it's not going to see any sort of crazy move. The couple of ones I'm looking at right now that I think may be due a bit of a move. HBAR, I set a bit of a trade in the premium Discord the other day, and I sort of touched on what I was looking at with HBAR. I think that's got some momentum. And I also think that Cantor Network is going to be good as well. We've seen that JPM coin from JP Morgan Chase going to the Cantor Network. You had a nice rally on it yesterday. It's come back down potentially into a buy area. Again, just worth keeping close to it. If we were to put it on here, give this. Hey, Verb, what's going on, buddy? I wonder what that was yet. We're not actually getting any sort of trigger here for a key buy alert. So as it sort of sits at the minute, we are sort of sat kind of where we need to be right now, but certainly trending on a sideways momentum. So, that's where I'm sort of looking at here with Canton Network, that it might chuck a potential rally in and we get this kind of break. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where I'm at in that note, but worth noting. But yeah, history, well, you know what they say. It doesn't always repeat, but it often rhymes. So again, that should give you a bit of a vibe as to sort of where we are. I agree about Canton. I think algo is due. Not worried about the FUD. Yeah, I mean, I get that. Man, where's my other slipper gone? I took my slipper off and it's now like disappeared. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I think Canton Network's still early enough that you could get FOMO adoption on it. It had its initial pump. Then it had its sell-off, and now, in my opinion, it's potentially going to start to get more institutional adoptions. Think a couple of other banks come on. It's going to be pretty tasty as well. Sailor, by the way, buying over 1.25 billion Bitcoin. Like, what? What? Talk about conviction. Sailor is absolutely on it. On it. If you ask me, which is kind of wild. Any new updates, my man? I mean, there's quite a lot going on, in fairness. It is, if you want in like super crazy, ultra hype stuff, it's not that. It's a pretty boring, grindy day, to be honest. But yeah, BTC holdings now 687,000 Bitcoin, which is pretty interesting as well. And you can see there, look, stock price is up 4.9. Total market cap is up as well. And then you've got the fundamentals here sitting around BTC. Yield tipped positive. So we said about the end of 2025, strategy tips negative on BTC yield for the quarter. It's now up very marginally. Nothing crazy, but, if you're in a positive yield, then, essentially that's going to be sort of good news in it where we get to it. And you can see there, look, BTC quarter to date, 648.11 BTC, which is pretty interesting when you give it all that. So yeah, Sailor with an absolutely monumental buy when it comes to the markets. And I do think he's probably part of the pump on a Sunday. Whatever Sailor's buying, you're going to get a move, I think, anyway, on a Sunday. And that's pretty much what we've seen now over the last, certainly, man, what? He's bought every week, I think, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, right? I think so. I bought some BTC App a few months ago on pre-sale. It seems to be doing nice. Nice, bro. Yeah, I covered that a couple of times. Like that, bro. Like it. Here's time for the good stuff. Griff. What's going on, buddy? So yeah, pretty interesting here. Look at this. Acquired for $51.80 billion. 75,353 is the current break-even point when it comes to MicroStrategy's Bitcoin holdings. So still way out values the company valuation, which is kind of insane, but yeah. Worth noting, by the way. Okay, so what else we got going on? We'll look at this. Bitcoin and the privacy coins gain as Trump power conflict escalate. Everyone's like, oh my God, get into some, privacy coins. Tether freezes 182 million in USDT. Strategy makes biggest buy in 6 months. And much, much more. So, the fact that the Trump Powell thing is dominating markets, dominating them right now. Aptos, what's going on? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome in, pal. It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. Do you know if I sell a lot of crypto at a 5K loss and buy it back again, would that be a tax deductible? So you made a 5K loss if you were to sell now, right? But here's the way to think of it, though. You are potentially just going to set yourself up for bigger capital gains tax, though, on the stuff you're buying. So be mindful. I'm not a tax expert, by the way, but just my view. BMAX says, just finished work. And the Trump Powell thing is probably as big as it gets, particularly when it comes to markets. So worth noting. And again, like I said, Bitcoin rallying on the back of it. Now, what's interesting is look at this. Tether freezing 182 million in USDT across 5 Tron wallet addresses on January 11th in a coordinated single-day enforcement action, according to on-chain data. Oh, no. Lando, do you pay tax if you don't make anything and you're in a loss? You can have it as, you can write it off against your tax. Yeah, I'm not a tax expert. Please seek legal advice and advice from a tax expert, but it's like anything. If it's man, I thought my screen just gone. You can offset debt, not debt. Sorry, you can offset loss. You can write loss off against taxable. So yeah, worth getting someone who knows what they're talking about. But yeah, essentially you can. But yeah, so good news, by the way. But yeah, this whole Powell thing is like dominating the markets like you wouldn't believe. So yeah, pretty crazy if you ask me. You can't do wash sales in the UK, only the US. There you go. So that gives you a bit of a flavor as to what that looks like. So yeah, this whole Trump-Powell thing, let's keep an eye on it. It's going to create loads of volatility in the market. As you can see, Bitcoin retracing back down a little bit right now. So let's go on the high time frame. Let's go on the daily closes and let's see where we get with that one. But yeah, hopefully we can kind of hold in there. Again, like I said, tomorrow is the big day. So just to give you an idea of what is coming. There we go. Give you an idea of what's coming tomorrow. Worth noting, by the way, CPI. Here we look. Core inflation month over month. Now, I mean, if this comes in good, let's say this comes in like pretty bullish. I mean, what's Trump going to talk about Powell in that sentiment? He's going to be like, I told you there's no inflation. Like, get him out. Crazy. You can't do wash sales in the UK or the US. In the UK, there's like 6-month wait before you can repurchase. Oh, there you go. You see. There you go. That makes sense. Trump said he can't adjust markets now. Trump has put political pressure on them legally. He is a stalemate doing the same thing. Or, I mean, I think he can. He won't. I mean, think about it. He won't. And the reason I think he won't is he'll sit under the fact that, you know, what you'll probably get, in my opinion, is way more around tariffs. If he decides to, you know, go at this ham, he might just decide, you know what? Is it really worth it? Is it worth the risk of criminal investigations, prosecutions? Or do I just kind of say, right, do you know what? I'm just going to crack on. Now, the debate would have been if Powell stepped down. That would be the question, but I don't think he will. But yeah, look at this. CPI expectations. Forecast is 2.6. Previous was 2.6. Consensus is that it'll tick up by 0.1. So we're hoping for anything south of probably 2.7 is probably going to be okay. Anything super low, like let's say we get a 2.5 read, that would be pretty crazy. We definitely might get some pretty optimistic sort of move in the market at that point. Likewise, inflation month over month at 0.2. Expectations is 0.3, with the year over year number coming in at 2.7 with an expectation of 2.6. So any numbers below 2.6 is probably going to be good news when we talk about CPI, right? Probably going to be good news. How that reacts in the market, well, we'll have to wait and see. Powell will stand by his own work, even if it means life in jail. Because, well, I mean, maybe. I think if it got to that point, he would step aside. The problem he's got is a little bit is if he does step aside and just like that's it. You know, think about it. Kungler, what was she called? Annalisa Kungler. She was a Federal Reserve body, and Trump went after her, like yeeted her out. Lisa Cook, Trump went after her. All Democrat appointed, by the way. So, you know, maybe Stephen Mirren gets to keep his job there. The debate's going to be who's going to go in there. Kevin Hassett, Kevin Wurscht, the guy from BlackRock. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I mean, yeah, 1% interest rates would be insane. I mean, what you'll end up getting, though, here is you'll get reduced interest rates. So everyone's going to boom. The economy probably does boom. It probably delays recession, but booms for probably 12 months. Takes us into next year, gets you over midterms. Probably then ends up being a bit of a disaster for sort of 12 months. And then he'll come back in, rally the markets back up again for a potential then Republican showdown for the 2029 electoral year. Is that right? Well, will it be 29 or will it be 28? Will it be 28? Vote on 28? Is that right? Second year today, this year, 26. Yeah, so 28, yeah. Drummers accrued 2.4 billion for the refurb is hilarious, but I guess this happens in most countries at the highest level. I mean, that's kind of what they're going to go and do it. That's kind of what they're doing. You think we're going to be waiting until 2020? Yeah. What's going on, Johnny? Good to see you, man. Charles Johnson said David Sachs needs to resign if the Clarity Act doesn't pass this quarter. Ooh, yeah, I think it's a big deal. Again, I mean, Elizabeth Warren, I don't know if you saw that, sent a message to Paul Atkins saying, hey, you shouldn't let people trade cryptocurrency, and if you get them to put crypto on a 401k, it's all going to zero. Think about it. Think about it. Elizabeth Warren. They've already made their money. They've already made it. Just came in late, missed half the convo. No dramas, mate. No dramas. Now, I was saying that the vote for the potential next president will be 2028. So yeah, here you go. Look, here's the pretty interesting letter here, just coming in from Elizabeth Warren. Saying, Dear Chair Atkins, I write to request information regarding the Trump administration's executive order that endangers investors by clearing the way for pension funds and retirement accounts to hold volatile crypto assets. President Trump's executive order comes amid a recent $1 trillion nosedive in the cryptocurrency market, underscoring concerns about the sector's volatility, weak investor protections, and lack of transparency, which at the presidential's financial conflict of interest as the Securities and Exchange Commission considers rulemaking on cryptocurrency regulation is essential for policymakers to address the risk. I haven't read the rest of it, by the way. I bet it says something like you should come in front of the court or whatever it is. The order also comes as Congress considers crypto market structure legislation that could create a tokenization loophole through which nearly any financial product offered on a blockchain could sidestep the SEC's authority. That's why it's going to be the CFTC and regulate security risk in Americans' retirement savings and investments. I mean, I kind of agree a little bit with it, but at the same time, you click the button. It's like taking your money out of your pension fund and saying, boy, I'm going to go and buy a brand new Ferrari. Like, I'm just going to do it. Like, why not? It's going to go up in value. It's a Ferrari. It's going to be amazing. You literally crash it the minute you come off the showroom. You're like, that was a bad idea. You know, it's the same thing, isn't it? Like, you can spin any narrative on anything if you want. Go and buy a classic car. What happens if someone steals it and sets it on fire? Like, that's it. It's gone. Like, your insurance will pay for a little bit. But, yeah, after reaching an all-time high in October, Bitcoin suffered a lengthy slump, declining by 33% in just over 6 weeks, wiping out nearly $800 billion in value, and dipped again in December. The crypto assets suffered similar declines, revealing important questions about it. So, yeah, interesting. Senator Elizabeth Warren there, giving her view on why crypto should not be done. AB says, what do you think the bull run will start? Well, I think it's more of a continuation of the bull run. The debate is it a pause of the bull run, or is it a full-blown, well, we just kind of nuked the markets and it's all going to zero? Maybe. But yeah, I mean, I kind of do agree to a degree in that the sentiment says, well, yeah, actually, if it is your retirement money, you should be sensible, right? You should be sensible about it. But at the same time, if you have a retirement pot, that should mean that you have some sentiment of sensibleness. And I don't think anyone portrays cryptocurrency as this safe haven to make money. In fact, I absolutely believe it's the opposite. I actually think if truly someone was saying, hey, do you think I should buy or not? You would be like, oh, well, it's pretty volatile. Maybe I think it's a good idea long term. But like I said, I think a lot of it, you can spin in the narrative you want. Certainly, so many people have done that. If the Carry Act doesn't pass before midterms, and if the Dems win the House, no go possibility. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing. So again, you kind of look at what Trump wants to do for this year. Like, he needs to get some of this stuff through now. And the reality is they probably do lose the House, I think. I think they probably do lose it. Remember, he is not in favor right now on geopolitical things. No one really cares. All people care about is that if stuff feels cheaper or more expensive. That's it. So that's why I think people are kind of getting a bit freaked out by it all. And again, that's why he's got to get this stuff through, because if he doesn't, then he probably won't. It's just my opinion, right? Just my humble opinion. And, don't forget, it's a super tight majority. Like, was it like 46, 48 or something? I can't remember exactly, but yeah, watch out for that. Okay, right. Let's just catch up on some comments. See what you guys are up to. Let's leave the order books in. We're seeing if any sort of big whale movement comes in, which would be pretty interesting. AB says, what coin is good right now? Well, I would research Canton Network. I'm not telling you to buy it. It's not financial advice. I would definitely take a look into Canton Network. I would look into... What else have we been looking at recently? What else have we been looking at? I mean, you could argue some of the privacy coins, but Canton is a kind of privacy coin as well. I mean, I still think AVAX is undervalued. People may think I'm a crazy person. And HBAR is something that I've been looking at as well. Loose house equals impeachment reason also why he's putting pressure on Jerome. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's definitely an argument. I think on Polymarket says that they're going to that they are going to impeach him. Oh, there is a view, by the way, that he will get impeached, in my opinion. The lender will be fine. It's the risk to the borrower. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Looks like Dems are buying the House. Hope not though. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the other bit to think about, isn't it? That is definitely the other thing to think about. And it feels like that is sort of, the agenda that's going to sit behind this. So yeah, keep your eyes on the prize is sort of where I get to, really. And yeah, keep close to it. Is buying time right now? I mean, it's hard to say, really. Think about this week. I think you are buying in a very high risk week. So think about it. You could spin two narratives here. that CPI comes in bullish tomorrow. It comes in way below 2.6. PPI comes in below 2.6. Market structure bill gets signed and passed on Thursday. Markets are ripped this week. Like, that would be super bullish. You've got lowering costs, while at the same time, you've got growing adoption, right, from regulation. So the markets could absolutely be like, holy shit, like, we're going to the moon. Institutions compiling in. Equally, though, CPI could come in hot tomorrow. The market structure bill gets thrown out, essentially, and, no one votes on it, and it all ends up being an absolute disaster. Markets probably end up being way more challenging than they've been. So, no week's a good week. I think I've always said, if you got $1,000 to put into this market, go 250, 250, 250, 250. There's no rush. Hedge your bets, potentially manage your risk. That's my advice. It's not financial advice, by the way. It's not at all. By the way, we could talk about this sort of stuff in the Discord if you want to get access to that. Link in my bio, also in the description down below. So check those out, by the way. Over budget on building renovations. Oh yeah, I mean Mark Noby is there. What's the way? Monero XMR big move up. Yeah, we were looking at it earlier. The whole privacy network's gone crazy. In fairness, the whole privacy network is absolutely flying right now. But yeah, XMR 597 on a pullback. But yeah, I mean, that is wild coming out of that Sunday pump from 474. If you think about it, Zcash, like I said, Canton Network, definitely want to keep an eye out for. Nice little wick down here. So just my opinion. It's still over the cost of the building. Yeah, well, it's like $900 million over budget. Does the government shut down again at the end of the season? I don't think so. I think it's very unlikely. I think it's very, very unlikely, personally. They've agreed an extension on the what is it? Like, not Obamacare, but what's it called? I can't think what it's called now. Medicaid, maybe? I'm not fully up to speed on it, but they've agreed like a 3-year extension on it, which was basically what the Democrats were kind of talking about when they did ultimately do it. Let's face it, right? Let's face it. It wasn't necessarily like Trump wanted the government to shut down. Let's just call a spade here. There was no like, oh well, we'll talk about it. Let's really try and get the government back up. And he was a bit like, bro, close it down. We don't need this labor statistic stuff to come out. We don't need any bad news. We don't need a really bad CPI. Like, everything's going to be better in a couple of months' time. Arguably, if this whole Venezuela oil stuff that we were touching on yesterday can sort of worm its way into the US market, like, expect CPI to come down even further. I mean, we talked about this. We talked about this the other night, actually. If you remember, the previous CPI report that came in was way, way, way about energy, right? Way about energy. And actually, the last report was, I got it here. Was all about, energy costs. So you imagine you can bring the energy. Oh my God, that was close. You imagine you bring energy costs down. It's going to be wild. So look at this. Energy services ticked up, unadjusted, 12 months ending November was 7.4%. Like, bro, come on. Absolutely wild. And that's why you're seeing sort of automotive slow down, manufacturing slowing down, all of that kind of stuff, right? All of that sort of stuff. Grand Design's what a legendary TV series. I mean, that was pretty good in fairness. Ondo has a big unlock this week. Yeah, it's like, I think that there's tokens put into the market. So the tokens that they have locked, maybe they're in an escrow, maybe they're in a locked wallet or whatever it is. Then yeah. You're giving very good information. AB, thanks very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate that, buddy. You are in a loss or profit right now? Profit. But we were buying, like, don't forget, when FTX collapsed and everyone freaked out about the market, this community were buying. We were buying Solana at $8, Ethereum at 900. What else did we buy? XRP at 35 cents, 40 cents. Like, yeah, we were just like, buy the dip, baby. What else? What else were some of the prices of stuff back then? Casper had an extra 0. We don't even track Casper anymore. But yeah, pretty wild if you ask me. But yeah, think about this. So CPI probably ends up being flat to neutral. I mean, if you could bring energy costs down, gasoline, fuel, and oil definitely would be a big hit. I mean, that would significantly decline the overall CPI number if they can bring that in, but I guess we got to wait and see. Right now is a dip. I mean, the market is dipping. Here's the problem though. You've got low liquidity and I think sentiment's just garbage at the minute, which is why I've been saying for ages, like so many people are like, oh, on the bull run, should I be buying in? Like, look at this, like Bitcoin's dumping again and is coming down. So for me, like I said, I've always said I need to break 92 and then that upper range. 99,000 is the bull market go or no go. Until we're anywhere near those, I actually don't think I'm going to get anything. I've got a little bit of a kind of, mess around bag for DeFi meme coins. It's nothing crazy, but that's sort of where I'm at right now. After my mate, I wasn't for this show. XRP may have passed my view, but damn, we got a good deal. Oh, XRP. Yeah. Yeah, true. Mr. Jones says Greenland, Iran, and Venezuela. Yeah, the Iran thing's going to get pretty tasty, I think. And the Venezuelan oil is the other big bit. Cuba's probably a bigger nervousness right now. But yeah, I mean, BTC look is coming down right now. So we are definitely seeing some consistent selling off here. Once again, from this move. But by the way, my view here is this is just traditional selling off. Nothing crazy. Big market pump. And we've dumped pretty much ever since. Probably going to retest the 200 here, 91,043. Maybe get a bounce off it. Ask yourself the question, though. What is going to bounce the market? And if you can't come up with a credible answer, well, that's probably because there isn't one. So worth thinking about. Okay, let's take a quick look at expectations on pre-market. I just looked at the time, by the way. The time is 10 to 10 my time. Like, I've been live an hour already. Like, what? These streams just sometimes go past way too quick. That's why this year it's all about going full-time on YouTube and cryptocurrency content. You can be part of that journey, by the way. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tap the follow button, all of that good stuff, which would be great. Just New York selling off, no dramas. Okay, cool. Is that actually true? Yeah, is New York closing now? Interesting. I mean, pre-markets, by the way, S&P is up, Dow Jones up, Nasdaq up, Russell. Remember the Russell up is good news. Again, commodities, Shanghai. Oh my God, they're over 1%. Man, Asia looks like it's going to come in bullish as well, which is great. And commodities look like they're going to continue to rip, with currencies looking solid. The VIX indicating 4% volatility on the S&P, so worth noting on that one. US indices look pretty flat as well. So yeah, pretty crazy. Mike, what's your stream speed looking like? My end, you're looking very digital and intermittent. Haven't dropped a single frame, and I'm at 7,000 kbps, which is pretty good. So using 4.8, and I'm at 30 FPS. So yeah, should be fine. Unless anyone else is feeling that. Click a quick refresh, Craig. That's what I would say. Don't forget, we've got like 130 odd people in the stream right now. Do me a quick favor, hit the like button. And if you haven't already hit that subscribe button as well, we'd appreciate you guys for sure. The close at 10 UK time. Is it really? Man, why did I not know that? Man, I feel like such a noob. Global stock market open and close times. Is it really that mad? I feel like such a noob. Such a noob. Okay. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah. Oh, there we are. GMT 9 o'clock. Is it because are we on GMT now? So New York Stock Exchange 2:30 till 9 p.m. on GMT. Nasdaq. So where do the ETFs trade then? Where do the ETFs trade? They're 5 p.m. right? Nasdaq want to trade until 11. Yeah, I saw that. Which is pretty crazy if you think about it. But yeah. So what markets am I just absolutely like having a meltdown right now? Anyone know? The New York Stock Exchange, including... Oh, okay. So they do run on... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Well, I mean, we've called, but yeah, look at this push down now on BTC. It's like, dumb the market. Oh, come on. Come on, bro. Yeah, Bitcoin pushing down right now. Pushing down right now. So you've got... Let's keep an eye on the chart, by the way. Let's just keep an eye on it for the short term. So you got New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq close at 9 p.m. GMT. Is that saying that it's GMT plus 2 though? So is that actually... what time in UTC? Okay. Do you think Trump is going to try and drop the price of oil by dumping it on the market? Potentially, Mouse. Yeah. I mean, what is crazy though is as he sanctions it, then then yeah, I mean, it potentially might have the adverse effect of driving price up because people go, hey, like there's a bit of a shock, like it's fine, like we can keep hold of this one. So yeah, pretty insane. BMX says, if you took your advice, bought 20k XRP when the price was low, 2-bit. Thank you. Hey, don't thank me. The community was I mean, I bought some live on the stream, but it's good. It's good. Do you know what? It's good when people say that. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. XRP, I mean, XRP sitting at 204 right now on this lower range, and actually looks a little bit bearish, as I've been talking about XRP for a while, really. But I mean, it could come lower, 203.36. That's what you're looking at as a bounce here on XRP. But so yeah, so Asia, so Tokyo opens at 6 UTC, 7 UTC for Shanghai. That's not right, is it? It opens at midnight. Singapore 9 UTC, 6:30 on South Korea. That's just not true. Like, this is here. The Shanghai Stock Exchange trades at 1:30 to 7 a.m. and they have a lunchtime, as well as Hong Kong trades that time as well. So what else have we got? The Shenzhen is at 1:30. So yeah, everything's like 1:30. Toronto's at 2:30 in the afternoon. And the Bombay Stock Exchange, 3:45. Oh, there we go. 3:45. We need to stick that in our calendars. When's 3:45? Just out of pure curiosity. Yeah, here, look. Oh, come on, bro. Right. Let's just do something really quickly while we can. So let's label these up. So that is India. All right. Let's green that one up. So that's India. Interesting. You've then got New York shuts at, okay, yeah, New York's at 2:30. Euro, yeah, this is the Euro. This is the Euro dump here, this one here. And then this is the US pump. So yeah, what's in the middle though? I feel like 6 o'clock. What's 6 o'clock? Oh, Japan. Ah, so Japan opens at midnight. That's a Japan, but oh my God, this is like blowing my mind a little bit here. So Asia was 11, I thought. So I've got here, looking at what I'm looking at. Japan is 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. GMT. Shanghai 1:30. Hong Kong 1:30. So Shenzhen 1:30 and Bombay Stock Exchange 3:45. So yeah, so these are kind of interesting numbers we need to keep an eye out for, in fairness, aren't there? Very interesting. Oh, well, there you go. You learned something new here on the 2-Bit Crypto channel. You still haven't subscribed? What the hell? Like, come on. Subscribe to the channel. It's definitely worth it, in my opinion. Russell, all-time high. I mean, we're probably there now, aren't we? Yeah, Russell is at all-time high right now. Insane. Good night, all. Have to work to do. Joyce, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Enjoy. I mean, not that you can, but enjoy working. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow night, which would be great. Man, I've got a long day at work tomorrow. I need to be up. I mean, it's an insane. I have to be up at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'm probably going to get about 3 hours sleep. Like, bro, come on. Wild. Drillian says, when did you buy into BTC, if you don't mind me asking? So I've been in crypto since 2017. So I bought my first Bitcoin in 2017, yeah. But it is not a story that I want to, it's not one of those where I'd like to be like, oh yeah, and I bought 2017 and I'm a multimillionaire and I just told, nope, bought 2017, got scammed, BitConnect, took everything I had, sat there on Christmas days. I watched every single thing I'd put into this market go to freaking zero. And Bitcoin was $2,000 when I first bought some. I bought Ethereum at like $70. And that was the thing that brought me back to the market because I didn't sell my Ethereum. At those times, you swapped Bitcoin for B something tokens. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, their own token. Anyway, and but yeah, so then when memes blew up in 2021, so 2017 came to the market, tried to start a YouTube channel, didn't really work, lost everything, got scammed, went into like USI tech, got scammed. Cloud mining was a scam. God, there's so many scams I ended up getting into. Lost pretty much everything, about $8 grand, something like that, which was bad. Because I was a brand new investor to the market and did everything wrong. Leverage credit cards, all that crazy shit, right? But way more in than I needed to or should have done, actually. Because I was only 2017. I was, man, how old was I in 2017? 30-ish. So yeah, not 32. So not great. And then yeah, got back in the Memecoin space, started the YouTube channel, never look back. And I think as long as I always say this, one of the key things, as long as you look back now, learn from it. So part of the reason I think I can confidently say, outside of the Bitunix, the BitConnect scam, I've only been scammed once more. I've only been scammed one more time since then. And I still stand by the fact that wasn't even my fault. It wasn't my fault. So yeah, which is fine. Never give up on your day job. Andrew Gaffney. I mean, I do a day job as well, by the way. I do a full 9-to-5 job as well. Might not be directly any country doing business with the Islamic Republic will pay a tariff of 25%. Boom! Markets are going to zero. Is that just tweeted out, yeah? Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, just in President Trump imposed a 25% tariff on countries doing business with Iran. Okay. Strap in, folks. It might be about to get pretty tasty. Although, when did that tweet go out, by the way? 10 minutes ago. Okay, so essentially, that's what that market dump down is. Essentially, that's what it is. Laura's good for everything. We're going to take it all, that oil, and use it and sell it when. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think as long as, as long as they get them back to Venezuela, then they're probably going to be fine. I mean, I don't know if this Iran thing is such a big deal or not. I don't know if I'm being naive with it. I don't know if maybe I'm overthinking it. Is it a big deal? Is the Iran thing a big deal? Mark says, I have a long open story. Bro, we all know it. We all know it. It's like, go long. Oh, God, I just got liquidated. What the hell, bro? What the heck? I mean, where are we looking at right now? Potential retracement. I mean, if you were feeling spicy, if you were feeling really, really spicy, actually, you could go long from 90,860. I mean, we did just touch on that with a push back up to the upside. So maybe you're going crazy within your office. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's going to be wild. I'm gonna move like down that end of the room, so then you get like a way bigger projected view of it. I'll have like cool lights, loads of monitors, different camera angles. Yeah, we're full sending it. New computer. It's gonna be good. Don't worry, your time will come to strike it lucky. Let's hope so, man. Let's hope so. Go long from the bottom, not the top. Exactly, bro. I mean, look, we're rallying back up a little bit. Again, if people know what it is, then it's fine. Bitcoin looks super bearish on the weekly and the daily. I thought the weekly. I mean, the weekly does actually look a little bit bearish. Still in a very much macro downtrend. We sort of discussed that. Interestingly, though, in a pretty interesting bull flag as well. So I don't know if you can see this, but that's the weekly candle on Bitcoin, which I actually think is pretty interesting as that's playing out right now here on the charts. So, maybe we get a little bit more optimism. But yeah, and the daily's just a bit wild, isn't it? Not a lot's happened today, other than like Trump's going to try to get rid of Jerome Powell. Right, 130 votes. 54%. It's still probably more divided than I thought it was going to be, actually. It is probably a little bit more divided than I thought. So, interesting. I managed to get lucky on a Bitcoin long earlier, and it went from 90 to 92. There you go. 2-bit, I want to get on your Discord, but how do I know I can trust the link? I just paranoid about the links in general. So, the way you can trust the link is if it's in my descriptions of my videos, then it's a legitimate link because it's me. So I can literally post it in here. If you want me to post it right now, I can post the link to the Discord in here. But yeah, if it's on any of my videos, any of my content, then you are fine because it's essentially my link. So there you go. Join the Discord. Get involved. It's worth it. Gary actually did what? Trump's going after Jerome Powell, bro. What the heck? Like, literally indicting Jerome Powell with a grand jury indictment. Like, they're going to find all sorts. I'm telling you now, if they go in there and they go to seek and find stuff, they're going to find stuff. Like, don't forget, they could go in there and subpoena everybody in the Federal Reserve that they have to hand over their phones, laptops, emails, everything. Like, if they go digging in the Federal Reserve, they're going to find stuff. I'll tell you that. I'm convinced of it. Now, the debate would be if Powell, if he generally hasn't got anything in there, then he's fine and he's going to ride it out and it's going to get really messy, right? Really messy. But if he does, then yeah, he'll just step down, in my opinion. Which is exactly what Trump wants. But yeah, never click any comments. That's other than a pinned comment. So if it's pinned, it's me. If you're ever in any doubt, just click on the link. And again, I'll wait until the live streams. Just ask me in the live streams. But yeah, you have to pass a verification in the Discord as well. It's super easy. It's super simple. And I don't know if you guys saw, by the way, there was someone in the Discord. Their name was Admin. And they seem like a nice person, by the way. Like, they seem cool, but their name was Admin. And I went in, I can change their nicknames. And I changed his nickname to Alan. So Alan is not a admin. I just changed his name to it. So yeah. But yeah, get involved in the Discord and then make sure you do it's like a capture thing at the start, which you just have to type a few buttons, put a code in, and bazinga, you're all good. When do you think we'll see 150k on BTC? I mean, it's almost an impossibility to answer that question because we should have probably already seen it. You've got to then, I think the broader question is, do you think the market is going to be bearish or bullish in the short and medium term? Because if you are in any doubt and your conviction wavers, then I could just say anything. I could be like, oh, September. This is what when people say markets are going to go down, no one backs it up with anything. Like, no one backs it up. Here would be my view. If market structure bill gets approved or it gets bullish views, okay? So people kind of feel a little bit more like optimistic about it. We already know Elizabeth Warren's not. You get Fed Reserve cuts come quicker. Let's say Powell goes, Hassett goes in, or Fed, Christopher Waller could be a good one. Even Stephen Myron could be pretty interesting. And this is the thing though. As much as Stephen Myron wants 150 basis points, he couldn't go in and slam a 1% reduction on it. The markets would totally freak out. Everyone would be like, oh my God, we're going into a recession. Or he's doing it because Trump tells him to. So yeah, the broader question is where do you think the market's going to go? And if you think the market's got way more optimism, which is going to be driven by liquidity, then 150k is at some point. When does Trump need to make America feel rich before the midterms? Yeah, I think so. I think everything's going to be like action-packed, like in your face. How good is this economy? How good is this country? We're the best. Like boom, 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 boom. That's what he's going to do. Like stimulus checks, cutting interest rates, cheap gasoline. Like, the oil's coming, baby. It is. Like, because he can drop the price of gasoline. Like, and just kind of get it all cooking on gas. But he needs to do it. Like, if he loses the House, then he loses pretty much everything, which at the minute, I would argue, I think he'll struggle to keep hold of it. Just my view, by the way. Just my view. Okay, Bitcoin back above 91,165, which is quite nice. Aero up a little bit. Probably not the only one as well. So, yeah. Keep your eyes on flight radar for B2s leaving the US so we can make a quick shot. Yeah. I saw that. Someone posted on flight radar. They were kind of kicking around. It was B52s, I think. Don't forget, it's only Monday. We're only the second week into January. Long way to go to the end of the month yet. With a lot of macro. I agree. Trump inviting Powell to join the Bitcoin club. Can you imagine? Hey, Jerome, you even join World Limited Financial's board of directors, or I'm getting rid of you out of the Federal Reserve. Hey, that would be a wild turn of events, wouldn't it? That would be a wild turn of events. Okay, good. Right. Any questions you guys have? Any thoughts, opinions? We've probably got about, what time is it? Probably got like 5 minutes left on the stream. Like I said, I've got to be up super early tomorrow morning, so I've got some content I need to get done tonight, and then I'm hopefully be in bed early doors. The Americans enjoy their weekend. Ice Lloyd, look, that's ice. We're not bothered about that. Justin, SEC Chair Paul Atkins is asked for the Fox News what will become the Venezuelan $60 billion Bitcoin stash. Take it. Yeah. So not a lot going there, by the way. Not a lot going on there. Obviously, all sorts of memes. What was that? US non-farm payroll revisions. Yeah, we don't need to look at that. It's just boring. Cool. All right. Can you help me out with a potential scammer? I can try. I don't know how I'm going to help you out, but I can maybe try. Do you think 500 World Limit Financial coins is enough to make a difference? I think any World Limit Financial coins are enough to make a difference. What's the price of World Limit Financial? I don't know what it is. 16 cents. I mean, look, Like I've always said, it's better to be in it than not. It's better to be in it than not, is my view, by the way. Right. Okay, good. What time are we on? 8 minutes past. All right, clear that. Clear that. Do I need that open? Probably not, actually. Probably not. Probably not. Good. Right. Proper bullish stream tonight, by the way. Heading up to nearly 2,000 views on the stream. So shout out to everybody who tuned in tonight. If you haven't already hit the like button, do consider doing so. Also, by the way, you should definitely think about subscribing to the channel. Again, we talk about cryptocurrency every single day, keeping you guys locked in. All the latest you could ever ask for. Slightly repositioning content and sort of repurposing titles and stuff, and trying to see if we can get some things moving here, which again, shout out to you guys for supporting it. I know some of you have been commenting, some have been dropping likes on all the videos, so shout out to everybody because it is hugely helping out. So big bullish news for you guys. Just join the Discord. Okay, do the verification thing, Johnny. Although your name is not Johnny, but I'm not going to say what it is. But yeah, do the verification thing and then I can get you in. Although it's there. Have you done it? Oh, no, not yet. Okay, I can see you. I can see you. So it should be dead easy. You should simply put /verify, right? /verify. Enter. It's then going to give you +1 option, right? Which again, you just press enter and it's going to bring you a code. So /verify, enter. Oh, maybe I need to change that. And then it should give you it says confirm that you are not a bot. You basically then /enter, click V code and put the code in. And you should then be verified. Super easy, super simple. All eyes are on you, by the way, to see if you can do this. All eyes are watching. By the way, there's a help channel as well if you need to go into there, but it should be that simple, by the way. /verify, enter, /verify, and then the code. I'll just copy and paste that code into it, and then you are in. There you are, look, see? Perfect. Boom. Welcome in. You are now officially in the members club, and that's it. It's simple as that. So that's my view, you see. All these people that can't do it get yeeted out. That's it. They just get yeeted out. Not interested in them. Anyway, welcome into the Discord, all right? So enjoy your time, and hopefully, like I said, lots of discussions go on. Again, chart analysis. If you want to get a little bit more, by the way, then grab a channel membership. It costs you about $6 a month. That gets you access to our bots. I've just got another bot that's going to go into that premium group, by the way, which will start to run a few more interesting analytics, from heat maps to AI trading sorts to hopefully executing trades, which would be pretty crazy if you could do all that in there as well. You can even schedule charts, so we'll actually have it where every day it'll print Bitcoin at certain sets of time and all this kind of crazy stuff. Like I said, we're slowly catchy monkey building out that Discord, and hopefully people will get we'll certainly get way more bullish. Fingers crossed, okay? Hopefully. All right, good, everybody. Well, that does take us to the end of the stream. And as always, I will be back tomorrow night. Let's hope for some more bullish moves in the market. Fingers crossed Bitcoin holds up. 91,253. Look out for that midnight open, as we talked about earlier on, when Japan goes live, and then into the kind of early hours. So that kind of midnight till 2 o'clock is going to be an interesting bit. And then let's see what tomorrow brings. CPI data is out. UK time is middle of the day. 8:30, I believe it comes out in the US as well. So, 1:30 p.m. Sorry. So 1:30 p.m. Is that for me? Yeah, that's UTC. So 1:30 for us, 8:30, I think, where it comes out. So look out for that. Could be good news. Could be, and hopefully is good news as well. So until then, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Be back tomorrow night, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK time for all your latest in cryptocurrency. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on your way out. And thank you so much for watching. You guys are absolutely awesome. Catch you tomorrow.